All right, we're live. So I had a question asked about balancing a chemical equation, and I thought it would be best to actually just make a video showing you guys how to do an example of one of these. This is from level 3. So it's worksheet level 3, and I think this is question number 12. It's a pretty tricky one. One tip that we're going to try and do is we're going to balance the metal first, then the nonmetal, and then we're going to save hydrogen for the end. So in this case, our metal is lead, that's Pb. We've got lead bromide, hydrogen chloride, yielding hydrogen bromide, and lead chloride. So there's actually, it's a double replacement reaction where we're switching the elements in both. The bromine and the chlorine are going to switch with who they're attached to. So the bromine was with lead, it's going to go with hydrogen instead, and the chlorine was with hydrogen, and it's going to go over with the lead instead. So it's a double replacement reaction. So we're going to start with the metal, and then we're going to go on to the nonmetal, the bromine and the chlorine, and then see where we get with hydrogen. So let's just start and get right into it. So we're going to start by counting the number of elements on each side. I'm going to keep these in the same order on the left and right, even if they don't show up in the same order in the equation on the left and right. When I make my list, I'm going to keep it the same on both sides. It's just less confusing. So we've got bromine, and then hydrogen comes next, and then chlorine to finish it off. And let's start by counting the number of each of these we have. So lead to start out with, we've got 1, bromine 2, hydrogen 1, chlorine 1, lead 1, bromine 1, hydrogen 1, chlorine 2. All right, so there's going to be a lot of back and forth in this, and I'm going to need my eraser ready to go, because as we adjust one thing, we might end up throwing off another. But we're going to start with lead, the metal, which is balanced to begin with. So lead right now, as we do it in the start of the equation, is great. We're going to move on then to bromine and chlorine. So the trick is to just not worry about hydrogen. Even if you throw it off, don't go trying to fix it right away. Even though, because that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say is the two chemicals with hydrogen in them, hydrogen chlorine and hydrogen bromine, save those for the end. All right, so let's see what we can do. So if we need another chlorine, you might have to disregard everything I just said. That might not be relevant in this. Let's start with chlorine. We've got 2 over here. We need 2 on this side. The only way to do that is to put a 2 there. So now we've got 2 chlorines and 2 hydrogens. If we want to change bromine over, we've got 2 on this side. The only way to do that is to put a 2 there. I think, I think I got it. I got it, right? So you guys can do this. So I went into this thinking it was going to be really challenging. It wasn't that bad at all. 1 lead on each side, 2 bromines on each side, 2 hydrogens on each side, 2 chlorines on each side. We got it. I think we're good there. All right. So that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Hooray for that. It worked out really well that we were able to have a chlorine, that we just were able to double it, and that was the same with the hydrogen over there. So that wasn't too bad at all. I guess the process of doing metals first, then nonmetals, then hydrogen and oxygen at the end is like, it is true and good, but wasn't even that necessary for this one. So anyway, I hope going through that process and maybe just seeing it helped a little bit. That was definitely not the best video I've ever recorded because I didn't practice this ahead of time, so I was expecting it to be a lot trickier. But I guess it's good news that it wasn't. So anyway, hope that helps seeing the process. A couple of like effective tips are to just make sure you keep the order of your elements the same on both sides, because that's going to just make it easier to stay organized. Again, it's all about organization. Just making sure as well that as you update a coefficient, you make sure that you modify the number of every element that's in that chemical. So remember, that started as a 1, and we had a 1 and a 1 there. And you just have to remember to be really careful that, okay, I want 2 chlorines, so I'm going to put a 2 in front of that. Now I've got 2 chlorines. That's great. You just cannot forget to also update hydrogen, because you changed hydrogen as well. So you just got to be really careful that when you change the coefficient in front of a chemical, you change the number of atoms of every element that's in that chemical. So I couldn't only modify chlorine, I'm also modifying hydrogen as well when I do that. Okay, I think we're good. Thanks for watching. We'll meet live soon to answer more questions that you guys have. In the meantime, keep emailing them and sending me questions. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you guys soon.